Blessings and salutations to you. I want to thank you for joining me today, but I also want to encourage you to join me on a 1200 day journey, a 1200 day of commitment, a 1200 days of doing the best that you can, the best that we can to serve God in a more excellent way. And you may be thinking to yourself, 1200 days? Why 1200 days? Well, I'm glad that you asked that question. You see, according to compellingtruth.org, in only about 1200 days, Jesus gathered a small group of followers, taught crowds in a variety of towns, performed miracles, healed the diseased, cast out evil spirits, and became such a threat to the Jewish religious leaders that they sought to put him to death. After his resurrection, over a period of 40 days, Jesus appeared to many people, preparing his followers to continue his mission to take the good news to all nations. In approximately 1,200 days, a little more than 3 years, Jesus lived such an impactful life and served in such an impactful way and had such an impactful ministry that we're still talking about him today. So what the takeaway from that is, it doesn't matter how long your ministry is. What really matters is how impactful it is. It doesn't matter when you start. What really matters is how you finish. It doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. The real question is, are you going to do what God called you and anointed you to do? My friends, so often we live in what I call the safe zone, the easy zone. We just glide through life pretty much ignoring all that God has called us to do. So what I'm asking you to do, and what I'm asking myself to do, is for the next 1,200 days to be more committed to doing what God has called me and anointed me to do. And I'm asking you to join me in this journey. I'm asking you to write the book. I'm asking you to sing the song. I'm asking you to preach the sermon. I'm asking you to have a more impactful life. Get out of the safe zone. Do what God has called and anointed you to do. And if we as a community of believers all could join together, we could turn this world around. We can change our society. We can have an impactful effect on this world if we would just step up, step out of our comfort zone, and change this world. We're all praying for God to change something, to do something. Have you ever considered God looking down from heaven and saying, you change, you change? You see, because we're the tools that God uses to implement change. Join me in my 1,200 day journey to be more impactful, to be more committed to doing all that God has called me to do. Do all that God has called you to do. And at the end of your journey, at the end of my journey, I want to stand at the pearly gates and hear the Lord say, well done, my good and faithful servant. And you know, the interesting thing about that verse is you've been faithful over a few things. Listen, he's not asking us to do everything. He's just asking us to be faithful over a few things. The few things that he's called and anointed us to do. That's all we gotta do, is do what we were born to do. I just believe in my heart that when we come together individually and collectively as impactful believers, that we can have a greater impact on society as a whole. I'm asking you to join me in a 1,200 day of commitment of being all that God has called you to do, that all God has anointed you to do. And if we as a community community of believers can come together and do that in great numbers, I believe we can have a great impact on this world. I believe we can impact a great change, a great revival, and society as a whole. Will you join me in that commitment? Pray for me as I pray for you. Let us live impactful